This is Gator reporting for the PPU, coach of the Denver Darmanitans, except it is another one of not our battles. Now this is week 1 battle 2 between the Brooklyn Blazikens and the California Charizards. And now last season, both these teams started off 0-2. And this season, they're both 0-1, I believe. So let's just see how it turns out. Alright, I'm gonna pause until we get to the point, so yeah. Alright, and now the battle is starting now. Oh, wrong team. That's last season's team. See you guys in a bit again. Alright, and now we are back. And recording, yes. Alright, so now he's got his right team, and we're actually going to go from this side. Why? Because we were never on the Brooklyn Blaziken side before, and yeah, I just want to be different. So we see that the Charizards brought a very similar team from last time. By similar, I mean he brought 3 of the same members. Not that similar, but it looks like a pretty strong team. He has his Stealth Rocks. He could have a possible Defogger. He has his Mega. He has 2 possible physical walls, possibly 2 physical sweepers. He could have a bulky one in Gallade, just a fast physical sweeper with Beedrill and Crobat possibly. Charizard could just be there for damage. And then we look at the Blaziken side. We see Prankstermon and we see Leafeon. Whoa. Leafeon is a very interesting Pokemon because it's very defensive, it has a lot of attack, but it's a grass type, and grass is not the best type for walls. Let's just look at Leafeon's stats real quick. You see that it's pretty fast. Ooh, Knockoff gets a crit and knocks off the Crobat's Black Sludge. Alright, and now, hold on 1 second again. What? Where? Alright, now we're back. Well, I am back to commentating, and we see Cry Left E, not Cry Left. Like last season, I had X-Blato's Cry Left. And we see that Mustache Not Teeth is just wrecking fully, like, a lot. And when I mean I'm back, I mean I turned my mic on and off. So yeah, so sorry about that. But we were missing Sprite on New Year's party, and we found it. It was in the garage refrigerator. In case you guys were wondering, so we see that the Gastrodon is against the Crobat right here. Let me move my mouse out of the way. And it's right now. Last turn they both just roosted and recovered. So Crobat lays down the Toxic while the Gastrodon's trying to set up that stockpile again, but is gonna be stopped short because of the Toxic stall. And I don't know what he was trying to do there, but we see the Ancient Power. Whoa, I did not expect that. Oh, we see that it was a misclick. And Brave Bird hits for some reasonable amount of damage after a +1. Scald hits. Will it get the burn? It gets the burn, but it's not going to be enough to take out the Crobat, and the Crobat can just roost up the health again. Yep, there we see it. And the Ancient Power is not going to do as much because it loses its flying typing as it roosts. And yeah, it looks like that the Crobat will win this mini stall war right here because it's not toxic. And it could take hits better with the Roost and the Ancient Power, if that makes sense at all. The Gastrodon's going to be in some sort of trouble here. It would be smart for the Brooklyn Blazikens to send in the Aggron just... well, yeah, I would go into the Aggron here personally to just set up some curses on this burned Crobat. But that's what I would do. Alright, so the Crobat actually switches into Gallade, resisting the hit, and Gastrodon is not getting the boost, and the Toxic is starting to take effect hugely. So the Gallade might just go for a Zen Headbutt or a Psycho Cut here, and It goes for a close combat, and it takes out the Gastrodon. That could be choice band. Lifer quickly comes into play. Might Swagger, which could be something. Or it might Thunder Wave, just to paralyze the Gladiator or Gladiator. He uses the Attract and then paralyzes the Gladiator, who breaks through both of those and just goes for a close combat. Wow. The Gladiator's going for some huge damage output, but now a Sucker Punch might take it out because it has minus defense. Ooh, it goes. Whoa! Whoa! We see the assist Earthquake on the Liebird. That is really a really good play. That is huge. I did not expect that, and my phone is just going off. And the Gladiator switches into Bees, and the assist Focus Blast is like he read that because he just resisted that like it was nothing. Wow, this Liebird, I like that Liebird. It was never used. Ooh, the Prankster Paralysis. But Liebird was actually a part of the California Charizards, but was never used. Ever. Just like a lot of his members. But now the Beedrill is paralyzed, losing most of its power. At least it's not burned. But it will not be able to touch the Mega Aggron. Unless Aggron is stupid and does not feel like Mega Evolving, where Drill Run is ×4 super effective. Excuse me 1 second. He goes for the Autotomize to double its speed. And then it Mega Evolves and sets up the rocks. Now, Quags is just going for Earthquake, and that was a critical hit, only doing 30%. Alright, so this Aggron is not messing around. I usually run a Curse set, but he's running Autotomize. And Aggron cannot be poisoned because it is a Steel typing. And Ice is not super effective on Steel. If you get it. Aggron goes for its own Earthquake, and it's doing a lot more. It does 30%. While this one, Quagsire is only doing 22%. Well, now that I see, what does the Nimble? Earthquake is not doing that much, and it recovers. I'm gonna have to tell the Broken Blaziken that he is making a huge mistake with the Autotomized Heavy Slam, because this thing is using Heavy Slam, right? We've seen all of its moves, and we see that Heavy Slam is based on weight, and he is lightened. So he's doing less damage output. I don't know why. And I would rather have Rest on the Aggron. So he misplayed huge with his Aggron. So Weavyon does come into play, but that's an easy switch in for either Crobat or Charizard with the grass moves. The Zard put together a really good team that covers for their weaknesses, except for Rock being huge, only being resisted by 2 of his members. Weak to Rock, weak to Rock, weak to Rock, and I'm pretty sure weak to Rock. But he resists and that resists, so he put together a really, really, really good team, covering for his weaknesses. Mustache Knot Teeth comes into play on the Leaf Blade, as I predicted. And he's going to be able to roost this off because he is a fast Crobat. Knockoff, his item was already knocked off, so the Zards do not want to lose, it seems like. Wabtendo Joy, aka Heart Whale. So we just see Mustache Knot Teeth going for another root. He lays down the Toxic this turn. So now Cry Level E should just go for a Boom Burst because that hurts everybody except the Crustle. Try not to go for a Blizzard because Boom Burst is just more damage altogether. He does go for the Boom Burst, good, and that takes out the Gladiator. The Gladiator is down. Alright, so Cry Level E is putting in really nice work with just Boom Bursting. We do not know if it's Scarfed or Specs. Mr. Krabs comes into play. Heart Ale now joins. Oh my god. Boom Burst, it does a lot more. Now he uses... And the rocks are set up, that's only going to affect the Dragonite. Boom Burst almost takes out Mr. Krabs, who lives on 1%. We see that it was a Scarf Expo. Leafeon just comes in right away, and it's gonna probably throw out a Leaf Blade or a knockoff. What moves do we know that Leafeon has? Alright, Double Edge too. And so I wonder what we are going to see from the Leafeon. Is he gonna predict the Crobat switching in and go for a Double Edge? Or are we gonna just see a straight up Leaf Blade? And now the Zards, if they do withdraw Mr. Krabs, it's gonna be dead next time it comes into play. So he uses the Custap Berry and not the Explosion. We see that Leafeon was AV. Oh, that could have been really bad. X-Scissor could have hit it. Explosion could have came, and that would have pissed off the Blaziken. Charcoal comes into play with the rocks, so that is a lot of damage to the Charizard, who roosted up though. And we see a knockoff, so what comes out? The Charcoal gets knocked off. Because, and we see a Flamethrower, and yeah, that's a straight up dead Leafeon. And we see the Dragonite just come in like that because it's his last member. He's losing 4-1 right now. Will we see a Dragon Dance? But remember, Charizard can learn the Dragon Pulse. It goes, ooh, he let him set up the Dragon Dance. I was wondering if he was going to throw out the Dragon Pulse. Hold on, sorry if this thing just pops up. Hello? Hello? Alright, yeah. And Dragon Claw does not kill, and he just goes for a Flamethrower. Might not have Dragon Pulse. And that is a dead Charcoal. But now he has to deal, the Zards have to deal with a +1 Dragonite. And that is not an easy thing to deal with. Quagsire does come into play, which might be unaware because that's what Quagsires do. Because there's really no water moves here. Only thing I think will be the Gastrodon or the oh no. This Quagsire is unaware. That ignores stat changes. It's always gonna do that. Oh, this Quagsire is about to just win. Unaware Quagsire is no. Ooh, he might not know that it's unaware. Let's see. Yeah, the Zards have this one in the bag because of the unaware Quagsire. Let's see. How do you spell unaware? Alright, so yeah, the Dragonite is going to go down next turn. These were two teams that were fighting. Why is my mouse blinking? Alright, but whatever. But these are two teams that really needed to win, and it looks like the Zards got it. The Zards put together a really, really good team. Like, I am really surprised with their team building. Dragon Claw still only doing 30% roughly, and that is a dead Dragonite this turn. Yep. Alright, so that was a really good match. Almost 50 turns. And, well, this has been the Denver Darmanians reporting for the PPU. And I'll see you all later. Actually, no, I'm going to push it a little bit longer and just talk because I'm not like the number 13. So, yeah, the Zards put together a really well team as you saw it. It covered 4 weaknesses, while Broken Blaziken, they have a really good team, but I don't know. It just does not work together. Let me just say this right now. Sorry if you don't get it. Alright, so that's just a little inside joke in the PPU group chat. But he 3-0'd him, and the Zards are on the board. They are 1-1. That is a lot better than last season, where they didn't get their win until late off a forfeit. So, this has been, again, the Denver Darmanians reporting, and my battle's next, I think. See you later.